Hey, yo, what's going on? This video is in response to one of my subscribers, Jay Lep. I believe his name is Justin. He had left a comment on here, so I want to run this quick video to show him and everybody else how to comp property. It's a little series that I'm going to continue adding to as time goes on. If you're new here, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like, comment, subscribe. If you like the content, if you've took anything away, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. If you have any recommendations or suggestions as well, I invite it with open arms. Please leave that in the comment section as well. So I want to hop right into it, and I want to start by kind of replying to Justin's comment. He had asked me to comp a property that I actually just got a lead on because it's a very peculiar situation. She, has filed multiple bankruptcies. She owes a lot on the property, yada yada. My thing is, and this should be your thing too, I'm talking to Justin and everybody on a broader scale as well. You can't let their situation determine what your max offer is going to be. You're going to be able to offer what you're going to be able to offer. And it's purely numbers, right? So there's no speculation. There's no, oh, maybe the market's going to appreciate. I know investors are doing that lately, but it's kind of like the cardinal sin, right? Like you don't want to assume that the market's going to go up and you know, account for that in your buying equation. So I do the same thing. I'm not going to let the fact that she has filed multiple bankruptcies, that she still owes a mortgage on the place, affect what I'm able to offer her as a cash offer. And going into creative offers is a whole nother story. That's a whole nother video. But if I'm just looking to give her a cash offer, I'm not letting her situation affect what I'm able to offer, because all I'm taking into account is comps, which is what I'm going to show you in this video, the condition of the property, and how much I want to make. That's essentially all I'm taking into consideration. So this is the property we're going to take a look at. This is one that I'm comfortable sharing as well because it's an old lead that we actually lost. You can see the last note here. I was following up while she was in escrow with the other buyer who beat us out, and she had confirmed that it was closed and funded. And I was able to confirm that as well within Propstream. I can see that 2 months ago, bought it cash, and it was actually Open Door that she sold it to, an iBuyer, and they own a whopping 13,000 properties. So I'm going to start well, first I'm going to push it from my Mojo dialer to Zillow just to kind of get these details, know what I'm looking at. Then I'm going to pull it up in Propstream to run my first round of comps. And this is what I would do if I was on the phone with the seller trying to get a quick offer. I would just do this Propstream method. If I had more time and I asked, hey, let me do my homework, give you a call back so that I can give you the best offer, I would do this Propstream one as well as some Redfin comps, and I'll get into that in a second. So I have kind of already mapped it out here on Propstream. Something that I want to note is it says 1,600 square feet in Propstream. It's actually 1,750. I don't know why there's a discrepancy there, but we confirmed when we were talking to her that it was 1,750 square feet. So these are the parameters or the filters that I'm going to add in. First and foremost, I'm only looking at MLS because I'm in a non-disclosure state. I'm wholesaling virtually. I live in California, but I'm sourcing opportunities in Texas, which is a non-disclosure state, meaning that they're not making it public record, public knowledge how much properties have sold for unless it's recorded, by listing it and selling it on the MLS. So you can try to use both, which is going to take into account public record and MLS if you're in a non-disclosure state. But just know that the number that they're giving you of what it sold for is just an estimate, which is what that EST is. So I don't like working off of guesses. I'm just going to go strictly MLS. So first, it's going to automatically pull back a year from when these comps that are being identified sold, when they sold. So it's showing me properties that sold within the last year. Bedrooms, bathrooms, I'm leaving blank, and I'll explain why in a minute. Year built, ours was built in 1980, so I'm going to go back 10 years as the minimum and up 10 years as the maximum. I tend to go 200 square feet in each direction of our property, which again is 1750, not 1664. But in this case, I'll just do 250 to make the numbers nice. 1500 and 2000 as opposed to 1550 and 1950. I like to start half mile out, and I will bring that closer if I have a good amount of comps. And then last few things here is property class. I choose residential. Property type, single family, because I want to compare apples to apples, because that's what my subject property is. I want to make sure that I'm not comparing this single family residence to a townhome or a condo or a duplex, anything like that. And the last thing that I actually did here, which is something that I do kind of rarely, is put the subdivision name in there. So you can find that at the very end here, subdivision. And I'll tell you why. There was enough activity in this area that still met all of my filters that fell within this subdivision. More often than not, you will find properties that are still within a half mile, but not in your immediate subdivision. But the fact that there was so much activity that again met my filters and within my subdivision is just kind of the cherry on top. Now there's no denying that these ones can be used as comps, because again, they fall in my subdivision. All of them looks like they were built within the 2 years. It was either 79 or 80. A lot of them fall within what I'm looking at in lot square footage, and I'll start there. So that's the first thing I'm looking at, is lot square feet. I want to make sure that my comps are within 2,500 square feet of my subject property. So right off the rip, this one I'm not using it as a comp. It's too big. The lot's too big. And the numbers are going to start getting wonky, because anybody can look at that and be like, well, this one sold for this. It has 3,000 extra square feet on the lot. So I'm just not even going to touch it, because these other ones are so close, right? So now what I'm looking at is square feet, beds, baths, days on market. Sometimes, this one is clearly the outlier. It was up on the MLS for a while. You can do a little bit more digging, find out why that is by pulling it up on something like Redfin or Zillow. It may be sold as is, or there might have been some type of, back out from the buyer. If you really want to know, you can call the agent. But first, what I'm looking at to determine which of these properties I'm going to use as comps are the price. I'm going to try to get the highest price for my property, and find the best way to justify the highest after repair value without doing gymnastics by, oh, well, this one 5 miles away sold for 400,000. Ours could sell for that too. No, again, these all still fall within the parameters that I set here. So, I'm comfortable with looking at the high values. So I'm gonna look at the 215 first. This one, same bed bath. Again, ours is 1750 square feet, not 1664. So it's about 200 square feet bigger. This lot size is a little smaller. Nothing that I'm gonna take into account. Year built, same exact year built. So boom, and you can see on the map here, this is where it is compared to our subject property, number 3. And this is the most recent sale. So at the time of this recording, it's the 14th of October. This one sold 2 weeks ago for 215,000. Now, what I'm going to make adjustments on is for the square feet of the property. I take a $10,000 discrepancy, a $10,000 adjustment for every 100 square feet. So the fact that ours is 200 square feet bigger, I think that ours could sell for $20,000 more than what this sold for. So this one sold for 215. I think ours could sell for 235. Let's try to find some other comps that kind of match that narrative. So let's go down this one, 225. Same beds, bath. Again, 100 square feet less. This one is about 2,000 square feet bigger on the lot though. So this is what I'll do for this one. $10,000 more for the extra 100 square feet on our house. Again, it's 1750, not 1664. But this one has 2,000 square feet bigger lot. So what I would do in this situation is kind of just let these offset. I don't have an exact adjustment or discrepancy rule on the lot square footage, but somebody's going to look at that and probably say something. So just to be conservative, I'm going to let these offset. The fact that ours is 100 square feet bigger, but 2,000 square feet smaller on the lot. So this one sold for 225, 4 months ago. So to be conservative, I think ours would probably sell for 225, 230, right? Now, again, that's what I'm doing very quickly, and then I can, work my formula to determine what I'm going to offer the seller on the phone right away. If I have time and I kind of scheduled a follow-up call with them, hey, let me do my homework. I want to make sure I get you that best offer. I don't want to leave any money off the table. Then I would schedule another call and take my time with the comps by looking at something like Redfin. I like Redfin. I've already kind of drawn out the area where I'm looking at. Our subject property is right here above Bird Meadow Lane on Quail Glen Drive. So again, what I'm looking at is the highest sold comps in the area. This one right here, 215. And you can actually see that this is 8303 Blossom Bell Lane. This is that exact one that we were looking at. But I want to show you something. On Propstream, it says that it sold for 225. On Redfin, it said that it was listed at 215, right? Listed at 215, sold 3 months ago. That's where that non-disclosure stuff comes in. It's not going to outright say. Sometimes it will. And I don't know what here you go. You can see the price history. It doesn't list any. If the prices were there, they'd be right here above the word price. So what I want to do is cross-reference Propstream. Listed for 215. What you can do is actually click in here and click details, and it'll pull up a separate tab for that property. If it was in fact sold on the MLS, you can click MLS details and you can get all the information. So it was actually sold for 225. You can scroll to the bottom and look at the price history. Listed at 215, just like Redfin said, but it's sold for 225. So it looks like it was actually sold for $10,000 over the asking price. So that's something that you want to take into consideration and make sure that you're looking at. Some other things that you want to make sure you're looking at is price adjustments for location, right? So ours isn't on a main road. I wouldn't take any off of our value because of that. But you want to make sure that one property doesn't have a pool and the other one does, or the other one has a 2-car garage and the other one does. So in our case, our property has a 2-car attached garage. Let's make sure that this one does. Boom, 2-car attached garage. So we are in fact looking at apples to apples. You can also see that this is clearly a fix and flip project. Brand new renovations, professional photographs, listed at top dollar. So I'm thinking again that ours will likely sell for let's call it 225 to be conservative. And I like to be conservative when I come with my offers. Now, what I'm going to do is take 92% of that, and I do that to account for commissions, fees, closing costs on the back end that my cash buyer will incur once the renovations are done and they go to list it on the market, like this one, as well as the closing costs in my transaction that's direct to seller, because I'm telling the seller that I will cover the closing costs. So when I assign that to the end buyer, they have to cover the closing costs. So 8% I found is pretty good. If there are, you want to be dealing with the players in the market, meaning that they likely have realtor relationships where they're not having to pay the full 3% seller commission and full 3% buyer commission on the back end. So we're down to 207. Then I want to take into account buyer profit on a $230,000 ARV flip. They're likely going to want to make at least 25,000, which is actually my minimum. So even if the ARV is 150, I'm going to take 25,000. That's what a buyer is going to want to make. Now, if it goes above and beyond that, I'm taking 10%. So if the ARV is 350, I'm going to say that the buyer wants to make at least 35. Then I want to determine my wholesale fee, my assignment fee. So if I wanted to make 20,000, I'm taking that off. And then from here, it's just repairs. So, you can figure out your own best way to calculate repairs. I kind of have some methodology behind it, but it's not something that I really feel comfortable sharing because I am still new to the business and I don't want to start teaching repair costs, especially when it's something that's so ambiguous and, constantly changing as, costs of materials go up, as you've seen recently. So this one, in my opinion, needed about 25. 137. I think that's, there you go. 138 was my MAO. I took even a little bit of a different formula. This was done, back in June, but there you have it. I hope that made sense. I hope that helped. If you have any questions, comments, please drop them in the comment section. Again, I would greatly appreciate if you dropped a like, you hit the like button. It really does help out the channel, I've found. And if you enjoy the content, go ahead and subscribe.